Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Sir John Oldcastle, and today we get to hear from the first judge in Act 1, Scene 1. Now, after the prologue told us that this is not a play about Sir John Falstaff, we kicked off Act 1, Scene 1 with a rumble in the streets between Lord Herbert and his crew and Lord Powys and his crew, but there wasn't context for it yet. We got all of this fighting back and forth, and every time somebody tried to break it up, and we had a king's proclamation even saying that everybody basically has to leave the city except for the people that specifically have to be there because they have positions in the court or whatever, and everybody is forbidden from wearing weapons. Like, they gotta stop this fighting, they gotta stop this fighting. So Herbert was injured in part of the helter-skelter, as the stage directions called it. So his crew took him off stage to get him medical attention. Powys is supposed to be under arrest. He's supposed to actually leave the city. If he doesn't leave the city, he will be arrested, but he kind of booked it out of there. So they arrested some of his cohorts instead, who tried to bargain their way out of it, but that didn't work. But after all that was said and done, we're just left with like the law enforcement left on the stage. We've got some bailiffs, we've got some judges, we've got the sheriff, and they're like, what was that even all about? Like, why was all of this? And in yesterday's monologue, the sheriff told us that this is a religious argument because Lord Powys is a proto-Protestant who says that the Roman Catholic Church is incorrect. And Lord Herbert very strongly disagrees with that because nothing says rumble in the streets like a good old religious belief battle. So the sheriff was like, that was it. And it just got so out of hand that we couldn't shut it down. So the first judge then says, this case concerns the king's prerogative and is dangerous to the state and commonwealth. Gentlemen, justices, Master Mayor, and Master Shreve, it doth behoove us all, and each of us, in general and particular, to have care for suppressing of all mutinies, and all assemblies, except soldiers' musters for the king's preparation into France. We hear of secret conventicles made, and there is doubt of some conspiracies which may break out into rebellious arms when the king's gone, perchance before he go. Note, as an instance, this one perilous fray. What factions might have grown on either part to the destruction of the king and realm? Yet, in my conscience, Sir John Oldcastle, innocent of it, only his name was used. We, therefore, from His Highness give this charge. You, Master Mayor, look to your citizens. You, Master Sheriff, unto your shire, and you, as justices in everyone's precinct, there be no meetings. When the vulgar sort sit on their ale bench with their cups and cans, matters of state be not their common talk, nor pure religion by their lips profaned. Let us return unto the bench again, and there examine further of this fray. So this is the judge. There's a little bit more exposition in here because we're in Act 1, Scene 1, and we just had this big battle. We need to know why. But so some of it is exposition, but he's also giving orders that this can't happen again. He's like, this is not good. The king isn't going to like this. We need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So we all, as law enforcement, need to make sure that no more mutinies break out. So if that means people are not allowed to meet in large groups, that's okay, except for the guys that are getting together to like escort the king to France. Because, you know, once a large group gets together, we have no idea what kind of craziness is going to break out. He's like, look what just happened in the street. And the king's not even gone yet. Like, imagine if the king is traveling, how much worse it can be, because then the people are like, well, the king's not even here. He's not going to know. So, and he does throw in there that Sir John Oldcastle was mentioned during the fray, but he wasn't actually at the fray, but he's got the name. He's like, you know, because he likely knows that Sir John Oldcastle is also a proto-Protestant. So he's like, all right, we just need to sort of keep an eye out on this. So he gives out tasks. He's like, you keep an eye on the people, you keep an eye on your people, and everybody across the board make sure that there's no meetings happening, and even make sure that when people are hanging out in bars and chatting, they're not talking politics and they're not talking religion. Like, those subjects are now taboo, not allowed to talk about that stuff. And then he's like, we're going to go and figure out a little bit more about what happened here today and what to do about it. And after he's done with this speech, a couple of bailiffs enter, and they're like, were you able to find Powys and arrest him? And they're like, no, he's pretty far gone at this point. He ran pretty far, pretty fast. And they're like, that's okay, we'll just arrest all of his cronies instead. And that's the end of Act 1, Scene 1. So, quite a kickoff for a play that's about religious disagreements. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this one's going to go. So come on back tomorrow and we'll find out. Mwah.